Okay, so next, after we have like all the um, the standard deviation, average, and the z-score, then we want to do the cluster. Uh, we want to cluster these 49 cities into 4 groups. So basically, you can pretty much select any number of groups, but in this example, we just select 4 groups. And we want to find the anchoring city. The anchoring cities is kind of like the leader, the head of the group. So we just randomly pick any anchoring cities here. So basically 24 here means that city number 4 is randomly picked to be the anchoring city, and city 24 is actually Los Angeles. We also randomly pick 34, which is city 34 is Omaha. We want to put the number of cities in here based on these random numbers that we just selected. So in order to do that, we're going to try to use the VLOOKUP function, which is going to be another way that you can practice using Microsoft Excel. Before doing that, we want to put all these prep data to be like one name that we can refer to later on. So basically we select the data from cell A9 up until the z-score data, which is N58. So this range is going to be saved and named as lookup. So we're going to insert the formula in the formula tab up here. You select formulas up here. You select define name, and the name that you want to define is maybe like raw data. In the text it said it used the name lookup, so we can just use the same name as in the text lookup. In the workbook, and this refer to the range that we just selected. So we click OK. So whenever we want to refer to the data points or the data that we have in here, we can just say lookup. Here we want to use the VLOOKUP function in order to find the name of the city. So here we say VLOOKUP. And in the VLOOKUP, first we want to specify the lookup value, which is 24. And we want to find it in this range right here. The range that we have is called lookup. So it's going to highlight the entire range that we want to look it up. We want to look it up in column number 2. So this is the first column, second column, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in column number 2 is the name of the city. So we want to look up the name of the city based on the number of city in the left side of the name of the city column. So this is what we do in order to find a name. Enter. It's going to show here that Los Angeles is here, which is city number 24. By doing the same thing, you can just drag it down. So it's going to show you the name of the city. So for example here, Memphis. Memphis is city number 25. So you take a look at city number 25, you get Memphis. So you pretty much do things correctly. So by doing the VLOOKUP for the name of the city, we also want to find, the z-score for this Los Angeles. And again, we want to use the function VLOOKUP, and we want to look up the value, which is H5. And here you want to fix H by putting the $sign in the front of H. By doing this, when you drag it to the right here, it's going to change the cell to be like, it's not going to change the cell to be IJKLMN, which is good, right? When you drag the mouse to the right, it's just going to be fixed at H. So you want to look up the H column, and looking up in the entire table, and we want to look it in I3, which is a z-score. So let's just put I'm sorry, I3 is oh, okay. I3 is the column number. So this is column number 9. Column number 9 is the column number 9 of the lookup range. So this is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want to find the z-score, which is this column of Los Angeles. And you again want to fix the row 3 because you fixed row of column number 9 here, and you just close down the parenthesis. And oops, it has to be VLOOKUP. I forgot VLOOKUP, and you get this z-score here is a z-score for Los Angeles for the black percentage of black. So it's minus 0.57133. So if you take a look at Los Angeles, you can see that the z-score is minus 0.57133. So this is basically you just copy the values that are related to what you're interested in. So just copy it to the right, copy it down. So now you have the z-score for these 4 cities. And the next thing that we have to do is that we have to move to this area, the gray area right here. And in here, you want to find the sum of square between these 49 cities and the 4 anchoring cities that you randomly selected. So by doing so, you can use just the built-in function in Excel, which is going to be SUMXMY2. This is the sum of square between this city, between each city and the anchoring city. And you want to select this first anchoring city. So you want to fix it by putting the $sign in the front of the 5 and the I to like really fix it. So this is going to be I5 to N5, I5 to N5, which is going to be this. So we're going to fix these z-score I5 to N5. And you also want to select the data in here, and you also want to fix the column I and column N. You close it, close down the parentheses. Okay, and 7.0168. So this is basically, you know, this value minus this value square plus this value minus this value square plus the z-score of the Asian of the first city minus the z-score of the Asian of Los Angeles square, and so on and so forth. So, you know, since you already did the z-score, this is why you can add up all the z-score of different measures together. So you are doing this for Los Angeles. So you just copy to the right. Oops, sorry. Not copy to the right, but copy it down. So this column is for the sum of square between all the cities toward Los Angeles. So if you take a look at column number 24, so this is the sum of square between Los Angeles and Los Angeles, and since they are the same, that's why the sum of square is 0. So let's do it again for the sum of square for the second city. So in this case, you can say SUMXMY2, and then again, you also want to select the second city, which is Omaha. So you select Omaha, and you also want to put the dollar sign for I6 and N6 to make sure that you fix everything in Omaha in this column. And you want to do everything from the first city to the 49th city. So you just select the values from the first city. Also, you want to put the dollar sign for the column I and column N. So by doing so, you have that, and then you just drag it down. Okay. So this is basically, you know, the sum of square between these values and the z-score of Omaha. All right, so you did that, and you can see that, you know, if for city number 34, which is Omaha, the sum of square is 0 because it's the sum of square between itself. Next thing is the SUM XMY2, and then again you select the third city, put down the dollar sign F4. The shortcut to put down the dollar sign is just F4, and then you also want to select the z-score for each city, and you want to fix I, right? I. Put fix N. Oh, you already did it. So by fixing this, you can enter, drag it down. So if you can take a look at here, again, this is for the third city, which is Memphis. And finally, this is the sum of square SUMXMY2 between these things. The final city, the final anchoring city, put down the dollar value for I8 and M8, and also select the z-score for each city. Put down the dollar value for I, put down the dollar value for N. Oops. 4. Okay. And then drag it down. Okay. So now you have the sum of square between, you know, each city and the randomly selecting anchoring city in these gray area. So once you have the sum of square, then the next thing is that we have to find the minimum distance and also use Excel solver. So I'm just gonna pause it now and then go to we'll continue in the next video.